So, what's with the costume?
My Halloween costume this year is very special. I stole it from the new Avengers movie.
No, you didn't.
Yes, this is the Incredible Hulk suit.
No.
I went into Mark Ruffalo's dressing room, and this is what they wanted him to wear, so this must be the Incredible Hulk.
No, it's not.
Man, you're giving me nothing but trouble!
Whoa, what a segue!
Funnier than all the jokes in the movie.
It's the good life to be free.
Hi everyone, Tony from Hack The Movies here with
Keith!
And it's October, which means it's Hack-O-Ween! We forgot to do this last year, so we're making up for it this year.
Yeah, we did 2 years ago, but
yes, and
I don't remember it.
We decided to do something very special to start off Hack-O-Ween. Not just a horror movie, we watched a horror comedy. Keith, were you horrified?
No!
Did you laugh?
Hell no!
So yeah, we watched the 1991 classic Nothing But Trouble, written and directed by Dan Aykroyd, and this movie was just a disaster.
You know, speaking of Dan Aykroyd real quick, I didn't even actually know he was like a psycho. I guess I'm just so out of what's going on in Hollywood or anything at all.
This has been going on for years. In the last decade, people have become more aware of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's absolutely.
He's got. If you don't know, Dan Aykroyd is his whole family's weird. I think his dad has written books on ghosts and shit, and that's where a lot of the Ghostbusters thing comes from. Dan Aykroyd's weird. He thinks aliens. I mean, it's fun to speculate, but he is into aliens.
I don't think we will ever have a formal relationship, a formal contact with any alien species out there, especially after 9/11, when we broke our toys in the sandbox. If they were observing that, goodbye human race. And honestly, I don't think they're a mass threat, but I do believe they're breaking the law. I'm serious. Title 18, 1202, read the Travis Walton story.
So how do you arrest them?
This was when people finally caught on that Dan Aykroyd is a little out there. There was always stories of the original Ghostbusters movie, the early drafts of the script just being nuts and insane, and then changing it and simplifying it. And they made a great movie out of it. And then
so you're tossing that out to pretty much luck.
Yeah, pretty much. An example of too many cooks in the kitchen actually making a good meal.
Okay.
So let's really start this off here. The movie stars Chevy Chase, Demi Moore, whatever you want to call her. John Candy, that guy who was in every single movie ever made. Oh, and Digital Underground, featuring Humpty Hump and Tupac Shakur.
A very young Tupac Shakur.
Very young, energetic Tupac Shakur. Chevy Chase is bored and doesn't want to be there. Oh, wait, I'm talking about the real Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase's character is whatever his name is. He's a rich guy. He knows a lot. He's a financial advisor.
No, he's a banker.
That's me, Your Honor. Thorne Financial Publishing, Water Street, New York.
Okay. Banker?
No, banker, no. Financial Publishing. Thorne's Weekly.
Okay, banker. Oh, here.
But he's a financial advisor, and and they really hammer that in. He's giving everyone stock advice throughout the whole film.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah, sell pork, buy gold, something like that.
Yeah, he was all stock exchange.
Yeah, which is annoying. Then there's Demi Moore, who's a lawyer, and a crazy person.
She seems to be a lawyer, but she seems to not really care much about this case that she's supposedly on.
Yeah.
More so the guy.
Yeah, something about a case, and her ex-boyfriend is involved, and she wants to go there to stop him from doing some landfill thing, but really because she wants to break up with him. Something weird like that. So she meets Chevy Chase in an elevator, and then just storms off, leaves all her shit there.
Yeah, she started crying.
Yeah, I forget, was that his paper? Was that something she dropped, or was that his paper?
I don't know. And see, and her whole, reveal was so bizarre. Because I thought she was a dog walker. She had 3 dogs with her walking around.
But, this is typical 90s. She's a businesswoman. She's so busy. And you saw it in a lot of movies. But, this was just weird. And then he, mentioned that he's having a party. So, her first thought is, oh, this guy screwed me over. I need to, get back at him. What would you do? Oh, let me get a car. Oh, if I don't have a car, I'll get a train, let me go to Atlantic City and stop. Her first thought is let's go upstairs, talk to Chevy Chase, and then ask to borrow his car.
Yeah.
This guy I've never met before, let me ask to borrow his car. And then, like, of course, he's, like, into her, so he was like, oh, I'll just drive you. And then the two Brazilian stereotypes. I don't even think you can call them stereotypes.
Is there a Brazilian stereotype? Because that's one stereotype that I've never heard of.
I saw that movie City of God, so I think they're all violent murderers who make kids shoot other kids.
And eat rice.
And eat rice, yeah.
Yes.
Great, you drive.
Could I? Who's going for a drive? Are you clear?
No, not tonight, Fausto.
Wayne, where? We love to drive. Are you going to your house in the Hamptons?
No.
That's fantastic. When are we leaving?
Very, very early. Much too early for you.
Anyway, so they tag along. Everyone goes on this trip to Atlantic City. For some reason, we're still not really clear. There's weird exposition thrown throughout the whole movie. And the first little bit was Demi Moore going, so how long you been divorced? There was no mention of him being divorced before that.
It never comes up again later.
It never comes up again.
But that happens throughout the entire movie. All right, so let's just fast forward here a little bit, because we just got into all this, and we got nowhere already.
We're nowhere. Because, like, I told him, everything is pointless, because the moment you see Dan Aykroyd's nose turn into a penis, you just forget everything that happened before.
Which happens, like, 2 or 3 times, and then goes back to, like, an ugly nose still, but, like, a normal
But, like, once you see that, like, I didn't care enough about the storyline, about the backstory with the characters. Once I saw that penis nose, I'm just like, fuck it. Like, because then the movie goes back, Demi Moore, I know we're skipping ahead, Demi Moore and Chevy Chase are in, like, this, one of the traps, and they're just talking about, like, their relationship shit, and it's like, no movie, I am now stuck on the penis nose, I don't care about her why was his nose a penis?
And the nose penis isn't even the weirdest thing.
It's not, it's not.
All right, so let's get into, like, I guess, the correct
So
order.
it's kind of like a play on old, I can't even say it's like a parody of horror films. But it has, like, the same conventions, like, you know, oh, let's take a detour, let's go here, and, like, oh, no, we wound up in a scary town.
And then every now and then they'll throw in, like, a horror music, make you feel like it's a horror movie.
Yeah,
but
it's
then
very,
they'll do, like, a little quirky thing and make it a comedy, but it's not working at all.
It's not at all. It reminds me of, it kind of reminds me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where it's, like, a bunch of, like, hicks in the woods, like, creepy family, and, like, a really shitty town. Everyone's kind of in on it. I don't know if you ever saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. They're pretty much all the same. Except for the second one. That one's insane like this movie, but like in a good way. But yeah, so it's kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Actually, no, this movie reminded me of Rob Zombie's first movie, House of 1,000 Corpses.
I never saw that.
Like, especially when we just rewatched it and we saw like all the IDs. There's a scene like that in House of 1,000 Corpses. Like, I think Rob Zombie watched this thinking it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They run a stop sign, they don't realize it, and the cop, John Candy, goes to pull him over, who his character just baffled me.
Dude, yeah, seriously, John Candy's character.
And the Brazilian guy's like, come on, man, just you can outrun him, you got the BMW, let's get out of here, come on, do it.
Stop it, Andale.
With this car, you could easily get away from him. Let's see if we could do 90.
You kidding us, baby? They'll do 130.
Oh, so
Good,
let's
go.
do it.
Go, Chris. Thorne, for Christ's sakes, go. Go, man. You wimp chicken, let's go. Hit it, push it. This is a little goddamn Hamlet.
Chris, go.
Here we go.
Oh, and the reason they went to the scary town is because the girl was like, oh, I don't like the turnpike, it's too ugly, let's go to the scenic route. It's like, shut the fuck up, we're going to Atlantic City. God damn it. Like, what's scenic route? It's we're in Jersey. Like, come on. Yeah, so there's this big car chase, and then John Candy brings him in, and that's when we get introduced to Dan Aykroyd, who is the judge. And you get to find out backstory about the town. Apparently a banker came in and screwed them all over and started a coal fire, which is like, you ever hear of Centralia? You've heard of Centralia, right?
Yes, and it's pretty much like a...
Yeah, the whole
Can't
town,
be anywhere.
yeah, there's like a fire underneath the ground. Like, they burned a bunch of garbage, and it lit a coal thing, and it's still on fire. So there's something like that, and you know that keeps building up. You know something's gonna happen in the end with that. And yeah, so he imprisons them, and
then shit hits the fan. Like, all right, so from there,
does shit hit the fan? I don't know. The movie just does whatever the fuck.
You're
it
absolutely
wants
right.
with it.
It's like one random thing after another.
It is. It's like a series of vignettes. It's like I'm watching a TV show, a really bad TV show, and that's pretty much the rest of the movie, is that they all have to escape the crazy town with the crazy judge. And then, Chevy Chase makes it worse. Demi Moore tries to be nice to everyone, and then, like, a little too nice, like, to the point where it's like, does she just want to, like, hang out? When she brought the boyfriend thing up later on, that's shocked me, because I'm like, she seems like she's enjoying it on a lot. Like, she's afraid she's going to get killed, but when she is, like, talking to the judge or the two babies, she's, like, really into it. She's like, yeah, what's going on?
But then she immediately runs with him when sometimes running away.
Yeah, and again, everyone in the town's in on it. There's a million fucking characters in this film. And help me here.
There's random things that keep happening. All right, so after they get there and they get put into the prison, more cars keep coming, and we don't know who they are or what's going on. Like,
the one was Danny Baldwin and friends.
Was it Danny Baldwin?
That was like the first group that came in after them.
So that was, they bring them in, and it seems like just to foreshadow what's going to happen later. Oh no, that's exactly why they bring in him. They bring him in there to put him on that roller coaster, which supposedly kills everybody.
And good you mentioned roller coaster. I showed Keith a little bit of info when I was trying to sell this movie to him. The budget for this film, and keep in mind this is 1991. I don't know what it would be now. Was $40 million. Keith, how much money did it make back?
I think you told me, was it 4 point?
No, 8.
Oh, it was 8 million.
It's like $8.6 million. That's all it made. It was one of the biggest bombs ever. But yeah, I mean, I'll give the movie credit. There was a shit ton of like live action contraptions that were all in camera.
As I'm watching the movie, I'm like, I'm seeing where the fun's going.
Like I think they built that whole town.
They must have. They must have built that town. Yeah. Like as you're going through the town, there's just like this big wooden building. There's just like stacks of like what almost looks like just like. What the hell is that shit called? It's like a trash yard.
Like junk? I don't know.
Yeah, like a junkyard shit.
Yeah. And again, it kind of reminded me of a much bigger Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Because, the house there is all shitty. There's junk everywhere. But the fucking filmmakers were broke. They just knew a house that was real shitty. They probably brought some shit in. This is like on a huge scale. Like, there are giant... Like, they're like... That one scene, there's only one shot, lasts like 7 seconds. There's like 6 giant human statues in the ground.
I didn't even think of that.
And I'm just like, that's not a matte. Like that. There's one matte painting in the movie, but I'm like, that was like someone really built that. Or that all 6 of those. They might have
just like pulled off like some miniature golf course that like closed.
Well, still, they fucking hired like people to lug that shit there.
Oh, absolutely.
And like again, a lot of work went into it, and the house.
Just the contraptions in the house. I feel like that house should have been made for the Clue movie. Like that, there was so much shit in that thing. It was ridiculous.
My god, this movie would have loved to have been a Clue movie. Clue bombed in the theaters, but that was a good movie.
It actually was a great movie.
Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, the whole movie is just Dan Aykroyd just being weird. Like, it's like this is what he finds funny.
Hey, ho, ha, ho! Hula, 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 the boola, boola, boola! Look who's got the front seats of the Mexican hat dance now! Just like a bunch of spiders in a birthday cake.
After all this, we get to the penis nose. The penis nose is disgusting. Introducing his 2 grandsons. Or nephews. I think they're his grandsons. They're just like...
But I am very confused about the lineage of his family, because... John Candy and his twin sister.
Dude, they are fucking... It's like Brian Peppers had kids. And they're disgusting.
Hi! I'm Bobo. That's little Devil. Hi. We're not allowed in the house. Oh, is she okay?
Does he fucking hate John Candy then? Because at one point, he's trying to whore off John Candy FEMA version to Chevy Chase. Says, you could take my throne. Even though John Candy was supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused about the family.
Well, that's why John Candy just straight up disappears in the movie at one point.
Yeah, the male John Candy disappears. And then there's these 2 mutant babies who are really fat. One of them played by Dan Aykroyd. They have 4 breasts. Mm-hmm. They're not allowed in the house.
And the reason we know they're four breasts is because they have nipples on all of them.
Yes. It wasn't like, oh, maybe it's just fat roll. No, it's four breasts.
Tell you what though, I only laughed maybe twice in this movie, and one of them was at them.
Oh yeah, he made like a weird face.
No, his line, just his one line. She was correcting him. He goes, "Oh," I don't know why, but that was funny.
My hand's on top. My deal, I win.
That's right. No, it's Bobo's deal because Bobo's hand was on top.
Yeah, my hand was on top. I win. My deal.
Okay.
The only other funny part besides that is when one of the cars that gets pulled in is Digital Underground.
Oh,
they
God.
just happen to be in the area.
Tupac
and you're like, oh God, is the judge gonna kill Digital Underground? And you see them all there, and Humpty's all like, oh my God, what's going on? I don't know why we're here. That's my Humpty impression.
Nice.
And then
You
the judge comes.
black man.
Yeah, the judge comes out, and he's like, what are you guys doing? They're like, we're musicians. He's like, I want to hear you play a song. Because I guess they had they did the song for the movie, and they were like, oh, let's put a music video in the middle of this awful movie.
Tell you what, it was enjoyable.
Oh, it was Digital Underground. I love Digital Underground. It was a fine song.
Dan Aykroyd played a sick piano part too.
Dan Aykroyd joins in. And then the judge is like, all right, you guys make the world a better place. Get out of here. That's not the funny part. The funny part is they stay to be witnesses to Chevy Chase's wedding with female John Candy. And Chevy Chase is like, take me with you, get out of here. And the one guy goes,
Help me! We're out of here. Wait, help me! These are dangerous people. Come on, man. It'll be alright. It'll be alright. I was nervous in my wedding too.
And I don't know why. That was like the only funny joke besides.
I really hope he ad-libbed that too. Just be like, you are better than this movie in every single player form.
So yeah, that's the best scene in the movie is the Digital Underground part. But
if I ever paid to see this movie, I would hate myself.
Oh my God, not many people paid to see this movie. I got this as a gift years ago. I think it's the first time I've actually watched.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
I have seen this movie. I will say this: I've seen this movie a bunch of times. It was always on HBO for some reason. I would just watch it. That
makes sense. I've always watched terrible movies on HBO.
Yeah, but I never remember all of the movie for some reason. I've seen it a bunch of times. Every time I watch it, it's like a new horrible thing I didn't witness before, and now I can't erase from my brain.
It's just gross. It's not gross. It's like ew.
It is disgusting. But then
ew, why are you doing?
But then is it PG-13? Because it's
don't forget ratings are a lot different though.
Yeah, but it's not gory. Because they put Danny Baldwin through Mr. Bone Stripper.
Well, yeah, but when Alec Baldwin was killed through that thing.
Not Alec, Danny Baldwin.
Adam Baldwin? Billy Baldwin.
Billy Baldwin went through Mr. Bone Stripper. There's no blood, there's no gore. It's just bones. It's like Mortal Kombat 3 when everything just turned into bones. And it's where'd all the blood go? And speaking of bones, the house, inside the wall of the house is just littered with skeletons.
It's the cliche.
But they're all femurs.
Yeah. it's every single one of them.
They're all femurs. Or just are there any other bones in here? There's no ribs, just femurs.
It's I don't know if they just bought a whole stack of bones because in parts they put the torso, you'd see skulls coming out.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, just down this slide, getting on the slide, it just was femurs. MummyComes.com.
Plug. Yeah, so I don't know. I had a theory that Dan Aykroyd and his brother wrote the script while playing with model trains. Because everything is a little contraption that runs on a track, and there's even a model train at the dinner scene, which is worse than the dinner scene from Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is fucking disgusting.
You know what? This whole review right now, and I know sometimes we're not always organized, but this one is so random. But this movie is so random.
It doesn't matter. There's one character arc in the film, and that's John Candy realizing what he's doing is bad.
That and his struggle between being a man and a woman, you know?
Well, no, those are two different characters.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So John Candy, his character's baffling, but I guess this day he just decides, I don't want to be a bad guy anymore. And then and then he helps the two Brazilians.
Yeah, but we completely forgot to mention what happened to Brazilians. At one point
they just leave.
They're just we're leaving. We're not staying here. Goodbye. And then they go over the thing. The dogs are chasing them, and he goes, "Oh, you're not getting anywhere. We'll take you on vacation. Now I'm Russian. What am I doing?" What?
And he's all like, oh, you'll take me on vacation? They're like, yeah, we are taking you on a vacation.
Now you're Italian. Our accents are really all over the place.
Oh, we take you to Brazil.
You want to go on vacation?
Quick, hide. Come on, it's my cousin. Come on. The original all-purpose ditch witch. Hide, get down.
It goes to Brazil, and you find out John Candy is their security guard / dating the sister.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. That was the only character arc in the film. He becomes a good guy, and then that happens 20 minutes in, and then the rest of the movie is just nonsense. Yeah, I don't understand Dan Aykroyd's... I get his motivation because he got screwed over by a banker, and he thinks he's a banker. I don't know. I don't know why the whole town is in on it. And then, the spoiler, at the end, they escape on a train, and they get more police to come. Dewey Cox's dad and Bill Murray's brother. They couldn't get Bill Murray.
You still have to point him out to me. I don't know who Bill Murray's brother is.
He's in a lot of movies. He has like a really scratchy voice. You would see. I'll show you him again. You'll be like, oh, that guy. I've seen him. Okay. But I have this is a theory. I have a theory that Dan Aykroyd was like, hey, Bill, I'm directing a movie. You want to be in it? And Bill Murray's like, dude, I did Ghostbusters 2 last year for you, and I didn't even want to do that. My brother's available. just dished his brother on him. Because, yeah, so the cops come back, and they all know the judge. Cops from, like, a different town. And they're like, oh, yeah, we love the judge. He gets rid of bad guys the way we want to. And as this whole twist is happening, this weird Planet of the Apes, like, twist, the whole town just starts blowing up, and they escape again.
Yeah, the twist we all knew was coming.
Yeah.
Because I even said it in, like, the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
John Candy said, it's like, yeah, but nothing has happened. He goes... Yet.
This movie is a mess. I guess we'll do the what did we like about it?
Oh, okay.
Keith, what did you like about it?
Well, I like that it ended. I really did.
I like the end.
I love the end reviews, but we were like, I'm so glad that ended. No, I'm glad this ended. Howard the Duck ended amazing.
Oh, wait. You didn't like the super cartoony ending of this?
No.
At least we all got out alive, of course. There's nothing left for us here now, so we're all planning to move in with my grandson-in-law.
Oh, no.
He lives in New York City.
Oh, come on, what? No, what?
See you soon, banker.
No, what? No, you won't.
It was like, what? I don't understand. Explain, movie.
So, mine ended. Did you have anything that you particularly liked?
I mean, I'll give them props for putting a lot of work into like the set design.
All right, fair enough. That house was really good.
I mean, everything moved well. I mean, I wouldn't say it was the best designed house ever.
Like it would be.
I love the scene at the end with the house, with the whole town crumbling.
I would like to walk through that house.
That would be like a fun thing. Yeah, if that was on like some Universal tour lot.
Yeah,
I'd be like, let's go.
It's better than dumbass Eastern State Penitentiary.
Well, they don't have people with dicks on their nose there. Yeah, some of the set design was really cool. No, not makeup effects. Never mind. Those two babies look like shit. Yeah.
Like literal shit.
I guess the really, really hard-working production department for a movie that ended up just not pleasing anyone and not succeeding at anything. But didn't we like everything? There, we covered it. Covered it. Yeah, so this is probably the worst horror comedy I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Outside of like Scary Movie or any of those stupid films where they just redo scenes from other movies, this is pretty bad. Pretty spectacular though.
It's definitely notable. It's definitely gonna be one of those I remember like, damn. I remember this one bad movie I watched.
Yeah, and it's like it's more interesting for like because there's movies like not quite like this, but there's like shitty horror movies and shitty horror comedies that come.
Yeah, like Sleepaway Camp.
But that one's not shitty. Anyway, but this one, the thing that's fascinating is just like the team that went behind it. Like in 1991, like Dan Aykroyd was still pretty popular. Chevy Chase was still big. Demi Moore was like the hottest thing around.
Yeah.
And John Candy was still really funny. You put these great comedians in this movie.
And it just for the bomb like that.
And it just bombed. And it was just really...
People just knew, like, I'm not interested in seeing that.
I can't think of a movie that's come out recently. Well, I guess movie 43, but I didn't see it.
Well, you know what? I'm sure the trailer, we had to look at the trailer. It was just so unappealing visually. Like,
yeah, it is, like, again, it's an ugly movie, but not even like stylized ugly movie. It's just an ugly
No,
fucking
it's
movie.
just gross. It's like, it's painful to watch.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to try and find some more Halloween scary movie themed stuff for this month. If you have any other movies you want us to review, let us know in the comments here. And then check out our older reviews here. Just to make sure if we didn't do it already.
Oh, I didn't notice them there.
Yeah, it's right there. Keep your head down. Don't hit it.
Oh.
You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook right here. And then, and subscribe. Subscribe right here. Bye!
Go, but I don't go nowhere without my gym hat. What I'm rapping is if she's clapping, then I'm strapping, cause I'm smarter than that. And then, girlie, maybe we can get along. Cutie after cutie, it's just the same old song.